Hey, it's Kaero. Welcome back to the channel. We are doing another deck rating with Urzas A.I. These cards are all generated by artificial intelligence. I have not seen any of them yet. We're going to take a look at the cards. We're going to determine if they're good on their own or if they're good in the deck as a whole. So, if you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Here we go. First card, Dryads Twist. 1 black for an instant. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Draw a card. So a little cantrip here, granting indestructibility. Nothing too crazy. The art is pretty sick. I like the art a lot. The flavor text is, once they take a leaf from your fingers, they can never get it back. Okay, simple little card, nothing too crazy. Let's move on. Cackling Harlequin. 2 black, 1 generic for an enchantment aura. Look at that art. That is truly a cackling harlequin. That reminds me of the, what's her name from Little Mermaid? The villain? Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+2 and has flying. Whenever enchanted creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. Oh, okay, so auras usually aren't too good because they allow your opponent to kill the aura and the creature if they just remove the creature. In this case, this aura's pretty busted. 3 mana. The creature gets +2/+2 and has flying, meaning that they're less likely to be able to block you, and if it deals damage to them, they lose the game. Okay, like what we see so far. Actually, you can pair that with Dryads Twist. So you put that on a creature, they cast a removal spell, and you make it indestructible, swing in, lose the game, then you go have a little snack break, hit the vending machine, come back, play game 2, do that again. Very nice, busted aura. Alright, next we have Mad Priest of Timna. 1 black, 3 generic for a Phyrexian human wizard. 3/3. When Mad Priest of Timna dies, draw a card, then discard a card. Okay, not too bad. That's solid flavor for black. I mean, usually, if we're paying 4 for a 3/3, I would like this death trigger to just draw us a card and not have us discard one, but that can be effective if you want to use your graveyard, like if you want to get things in your graveyard. Say you're using Golgari, Reanimator, something like that, that's fine. The flavor text is, he sacrifices her, she's slain, yet she awakens. She slays, he grows stronger. Got that? Sacks her, she's slain, she awakens, she slays, and he grows stronger. Perfectly clear. Alright, not bad. Irration Outcasts. 1 black, 1 generic for Goblin Rogue, 1/1 haste. Whenever you gain life, you may discard a card. Okay, so combined with the Mad Priest of Timna, we're discarding cards into our graveyard. I wonder if there's going to be more graveyard interplay, reanimation, unearth, things like that in this deck. We'll have to see. So this card's not very good at all unless you want cards in your graveyard. What's the flavor? No more shamans. It's goblin fishing. You ever go out with your goblin friends and they're like, hey guys, on this goblin fishing trip, can we just, I don't want any more shamans around here. You know what I mean? It's just, let's just do goblins fishing like we used to. Remember why we had fun doing that? No more shamans today. Drawn from memory. 1 black, 3 generic for sorcery. Draw 3 cards, discard 2 cards. Okay. It's a black, what? Divination that costs 1 more at sorcery speed. It's not great. If this was a sorcery, it would be like decent, but instant it would be decent, but it's a sorcery. The flavor is, the prince isn't a jester. He's one of those life forms whose knowledge isn't to be forgotten. Alright, this is weird art. Wonder if the AI drew this from memory. Moving on, Booger Robert. I don't know what a Booger Robber is, but that looks like a Booger Robber. So it's lucky that we're playing mono black, because this is 3 black, 3 generic for zombie horror, 5/4. When Booger Robber enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to target opponent Planeswalker, where X is 3 minus the number of zombies you control. So wait, you don't want to have zombies? But this is a zombie. So it's always 3, and then if you have 3 zombies, it does 0 damage. So this card rewards you for not having zombies. So it can never be greater than 3. It's always going to be 2, though, because this is a zombie horror itself. So it deals 2 damage if you don't have any other zombies. This card seems terrible. The flavors text is one's fingers no longer click. Alright. Maybe somebody spent too many hours playing video games. Like, my fingers don't click. I'm totally Booger Robert out right now, man. Yeah, that card's not good. Art's cool, though. Steading Worm. 2 black, 2 generic, 1/3, pay 1 black mana. Steading Worm gets +1/+1 till end of turn. There's no limit on how many times you can do that, so if you pump 3 or 4 mana into this, this becomes a 3/4 or 3/5, 4/6, something like that. It's 4 mana for a 1/3 though. That's terrible stats for 4 mana. What's the flavor? The whir of their wings, the purr of their spines. These should not be seen. I agree. If this is a creature that the wings are whirring and the spines are purring, I don't want to see it. Steading Worm, that's not good. Fathom Ticket. Oh, interesting mana cost here. So we have either 1 black or 2 generic, and then I'm going to assume the other ones are just generic, so it can be either paid with for 4 mana or 3 mana if you have 1 black. Sorcery. Create 3 green 1/1. Why did I say green? 3 1/1 black pest creature tokens with Island Walk. Sideboard card against mono blue. Or not even just mono blue, but blue-based decks. Sure. Main deck seems super narrow. If you're playing against any color other than blue, it's just 3 1/1s for 4 mana. Not super impressive. Flavor text is the bed bugs are awfully quiet, but they still eat. Disgusting. Are we saying that we want them to be louder? Like, the bed bugs are awfully quiet tonight. Let's look. Oh yeah, they're still eating. Ugh. Malakar Goblin Exterminator. I didn't know that goblins worked as exterminators for bed bugs, but that's fine. Okay. Basilisks. Not basilisk. Basilisks. 2 black, 2 generic for a human soldier. It has haste. It's a 3/3. Whenever basilisk attack, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn for each other attacking creature with power 3 or greater. Not the worst thing in the world. A 4 mana 3/3 haste. That if you attack with your 2 and 3 drop, this thing gets power 3 or greater. I thought it was 3 or less. So this is going to be a turn 4 3/3 haste. Maybe able to attack, and then it gets better as you play bigger creatures. So if you have this in like a Golgari deck, it might be better than it is in mono black. We'll have to see what the rest of the cards are. I'm not super impressed with this. I feel like it should get +1/+1 till end of turn for each other attacking creature. Even if it was power 3 or less, that would actually be a lot better. The flavor text is a dragonborn army, including spear fodder and castle guards, made one mistake. One very deadly mistake. That is, crossing the basilisks. River Squirrel. So we have this art, this like skeleton horror things, and we have all kinds of dark imagery, and then we have this. River Squirrel, 2 black, 1 generic, 2/2. Squirrels you control have tap, add 1 mana of any color. Hey, it's mono black mana dork that makes all your other squirrels into mana dorks. Are there going to be more squirrels in this deck? We'll have to find out. If not, it's a 3-cost mana dork. Okay, fine. Yeah, I love the art. Flavor text is, as there are only so many warm rocks in a squirrel's day, so there are only so many creatures on the battlefield. How true that is, River Squirrel. You are wise. You are so wise. Incendiary Imp. 1 black, 1 generic for an imp creature. 1/2 with flying. That seems about right for an imp. Going rate. Whenever Incendiary Imp deals combat damage to a player, that player gets an emblem with, at the beginning of your end step, sacrifice a creature. That is busted. So emblems are usually the things that you get for ultimate, hitting the ultimate on a Planeswalker. They can't be removed or interacted with at all. So once the person has this emblem, they can't remove it. So at the beginning of each end step, they sacrifice 1 creature. That is devastating to everything except for creatureless control decks, which don't care about sacrificing creatures. But that's like a very niche deck. And if you're playing against aggro or the mid range or something like that, this is going to be brutal. It has to deal combat damage, but it is a flyer. If this was a 2-mana 1/1, I would say that like your opponent could just block it at all costs. But if you go first, they don't have a creature, they play a couple tap lands, you hit this. Imp is pretty nasty. Let me know what you think in the comments. Flavor text is she calls on fiery demons to fan her followers' passions, leaving little distinction between Inquisitor and Arsonist. I like that. Yeah, that card's sick. Molting Reaper. 2 black, 3 generic for Zombie Knight. 3/3 for 5 mana. Tap 2 black, sacrifice Molting Reaper, exile target creature. You know what? That's not bad. It's a little overcosted for 3/3, but you know, if the game's going slowly, you pay 5 mana, get this out, you swing with it a couple times, and then they play some big bomb where you can no longer attack with it. Just sacrifice it and exile that creature. So it'll cost you 7 total mana, but if you can get some damage in, or you know, use this as a chump blocker, they attack with an 8/8 without trample. You block with Molting Reaper, you sacrifice it, kill that thing. Avoid taking 8 damage. It's not the worst thing. I kind of like Molting Reaper. If this costs 4, it would be a lot better. Flavor is he has taken his new and morbid form in good faith. Well, I'm glad that he has. Gore-Cursed Regent. 2 black, 4 generic for a Nightmare Dog. Oh my god, it is a dog. That is terrifying. You look at it, it's like a terrier with its mouth torn open. This is horrific art. Let's see if this good boy is good. 6 mana, 6/6. Spell can't be countered. You may sacrifice a creature. If you do, exile Gore-Cursed Regent. If you don't, it enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. So I'm going to say, give the AI the benefit of the doubt and say that it's trying to say you can sacrifice a creature when you cast it. If you do, no. Exile Gore-Cursed Regent. You never want to exile it. If you don't sacrifice a creature, it enters with a counter. So it's a 7/7 for 6 mana if you don't sacrifice a creature and it can't be countered. Doesn't have trample, doesn't have flying, doesn't have anything like that. So, yeah, not so good. I'm sorry, buddy. They want it gone, you want it dead. It's just business. Full flavor, though. Chorus of Soot Spores. 2 black, 3 generic for an insect horror, 3/4 Death Touch. Death Touch is better on little creatures, but let's see. When Chorus of Soot Spores enters the battlefield, exile unless you sacrifice a creature. I'm not into this. 5 mana, 3/4 Death Touch, you have to sacrifice another creature. Even if you sacrifice a token, like, what are you getting out of it? Nothing very good. Flavor is they break out of cages and chains with mindless glee. Alright, moving on, Soot Spores. Hardly ever fail. Okay, it's a gold card, but it's not gold. 1 black, 1 generic, and X, sorcery. Look at your hand and choose 1 non-creature card in your hand and exile it. If you do, discard that card. Then if you have no cards in hand, return Hardly Ever Fail to its owner's hand. So if you exile a card from your hand, then you discard that card, and then you have no cards, you return this back to your hand just to exile and discard another card? No. I don't think there's any application for this. And actually, what is X? Now that we're thinking about it, you can just pay X also, just to like as a flex on your opponent. You have a card in your hand, and you're like, you know what? I've got this game won. I'm going to win this game. So what I'm going to do, just to prove to you that I don't need any more cards, I'm going to cast Hardly Ever Fail. I'm going to exile a card from my hand, but before I exile a card, I'm going to discard it. And then I have no cards, so I'm going to return that back to my hand, and then the next turn, whatever card I draw, I'm going to exile it again with Hardly Ever Fail, and then I'm going to still win. This is the ultimate flex card. That's all this is. When lost in a prairie, one never fails to see something strange. Yeah. I guess there's strange things in a prairie. This is strange. I'll give you that. That's a flex card. Mortify. 2 black, 3 generic. Target creature gets -3/-3 till end of turn. Sorcery speed. Way too expensive. Even if it was an instant, way too expensive. Doesn't kill everything. For 5 mana, it should kill, or actually it should exile something. Flavor is the sliver ascend to slay. The skull is proud and will guard all those that were once one of us. Shambling Troll. Look at the Shambling Troll. Look at this guy. Look at you, buddy. You have a face, and you have some tassels on your shoulders, and you have another face right up in here. That's nice. All right. 1 black, 2 generic for Troll Shaman, 2/1. When Shambling Troll becomes blocked, Shambling Troll deals 2 damage to that blocker. Hey, not too bad. You attack with this? It's only offensive, though. It's not a very good blocker on turn 3, but you attack with this, they block with a... They can't block with anything less than a creature with 4 toughness, or that creature just dies. Shambling Troll also die, but it could trade up. That's actually a pretty decent little card. Trolls rarely and never fully rest. Okay. I like that he also has a cane. He will not be invited to the Goblin fishing party because he's a shaman. Just so you guys know. Grotesque Imp. Yeah, accurate. 1 black, 3 generic for an imp, 3/3 death touch. Flavor is the effluent in the rotting bog, claimed countless victims in its life as an avian. Its death will not lack the macabre accoutrements. So am I to believe that this was once a bird, and then claimed a lot of victims, and then became a grotesque imp? It's pretty cool flavor. This art is pretty sick too. I like it. Creatures lackluster though. Let's move on. Dexos, Envoy of Alhammaret. Last time I checked, Daxos was white. But maybe Daxos had a unfortunate turn of events and became corrupted or something. 2 black, 4 generic for a legendary creature avatar, 5/5. Other white creatures you control get +1/+1. I like how it says other white creatures, as if this was a white card. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life. This is not too bad. It's pretty shit in this deck because there's no white creatures, right? But I don't know, in like a Urzas deck where all your other creatures tend to be white, it could do some stuff. And then if you make a bunch of creatures and sacrifice them all to have an effect, make your opponent lose some life. I've seen worse cards. Kind of expensive and requires a heavy build around, but not too bad. Flavor is Daxos enlists an ancient source of life, restoring all to life and gifting Alhammaret's sustain. Novak Moth. 1 black, 2 generic for an insect, 1/1 regenerate. That's pretty cool. I would like this to cost 2. If it costs 3, I would expect that it would have flying as a 1/1. Good blocker. Definitely not for 3, though. If this costs 1, this would be a very good card. Flavor is a delicious entree and then a healthy side of a gut buster. That was a delicious entree. You know what I really want? I want a gut buster, but a healthy one. Healthy side. What is a healthy gut buster? Like Brussels sprouts? Probably, yeah. Something like that. And Water Rogue, 1 black for a 1/1 protection from creatures. Okay, pretty good. Meaning that it can't be blocked by creatures. It can block any creature without trample, absorb all the damage, and not die. And can't be targeted by abilities that creatures the opponent controls. That's pretty good little 1-drop there. Put that aura on it. That, for 3 mana, the opponent loses the game. Unblockable. Nice. Flavor is she doesn't mind who watches her or how long they keep watching. She's like, I don't care if you watch me. I'm a Water Rogue. I got protection from you and your eyeballs. Feeder Snakes. Oh, I like this. This is a card within a card on the AI art. 1 black, 1/1. Afflict 3. Whenever this creature becomes blocked, defending player loses 3 life. Black, sacrifice another creature, destroy target blocking creature. This is a lot of text for a 1/1. This is a Phyrexian rat. Looks like a snake to me, but I guess it is a rat. Even though it says snake. It's a so what do we think about this? One, you drop this on turn one, you attack with it. If they block, they lose 3 life, and then even if they do block, you pay a black mana, sack a creature, destroy target blocking creature. Man, this is a good little card. So on one hand, if they block it, they automatically lose 3 life, and you can destroy the blocking creature by sacking another creature. This would be good to have 4 feeder snakes and some tokens or token generator, so that way you're attacking every turn and just draining their life when they block. If they don't block, you can still hit for 3 or 4 damage. This is a good card. This is. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, because I've never seen a design like this. This is very cool. Flavor text is, as his clan prepares to do battle, each victim tugs at the nearest cobra's neck, waiting for a moment when they are lulled to sleep. Radiant Blow. 2 black, 3 generic for a sorcery. Radiant Blow deals 5 damage to target creature and 1 damage to target planeswalker. Okay, super narrow card. It is still a 5 mana, 5 damage to target creature, so like, what comes to mind here is Lava Axe in red. 5 mana to deal 5 damage to target player. This is creature. This could, like in the most narrow of situations, kill a planeswalker like a Liliana of the Veil or anything that has 1 loyalty on it. And it would be a 2-for-1 if you could kill a creature with it, but it costs 5. If they don't have a planeswalker, it's just 5 damage for 5. Super inefficient. Flavor text is, I am the wind and I am the rain, but you'll find me where both paths meet. Karn said that. Great, and he's also the great henge of Kessig. Karn is the great henge, if you didn't know that. Yeah, he just became a henge, and a great one at that. Yeah, it's really expensive. Siegebreaker. 1 black, 2 generic for a sorcery. That art is sick. I love that art. Fantastic. It's some sort of artifact creature. It sort of strikes me as some sort of like samurai in either a library or a brick building or something with a dirt floor. Very cool. Create 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. For 3? Yeah, it's not too bad, actually. And we have other ways to sacrifice tokens to do things in this deck, especially with the Ravenous Snake or whatever it was. Yeah, that's actually not too bad for 3. I wish it was instant, though. If it was instant, it'd be very cool. Your opponent attacks you, you create 2 black zombies to block, or you would create at the end of their turn and then attack them next time. Although, there was a card that deals 3 damage in here earlier, but it deals less if you have zombies, so you wouldn't want to play this card before that card, because then it would nullify its damage entirely. When night came to Sarah, Krog died. Straight and to the point. Gotta love that. I love this art. It's cool. Dockside Entangler. 2 black, 2/1 creature, Thrall. Whenever Dockside Entangler attacks, target creature defending player loses half of its toughness until end of turn. So, you attack with this thing. They have a 4/4, becomes a 4/2, so they can't really block it effectively. Okay. I can see that. That's not too bad. That actually might be pretty good. The only thing is, it's not... Well, it only costs 2 black. I was going to say it's not a good defensive creature, but it only costs 2 black for a 2/1. Flavor is, all will be at our mercy. Our bidding shall be this. Obnoxious Bastards. Alright, let's see how obnoxious they are. 2 black, 1 generic for an instant. Devoid, card has no color. Counter target creature spell. Obnoxious Bastards is a black counter spell. Actually, no. Excuse me. It is a colorless counter spell that you have to use black mana to cast. This is like black cancel. So cancel is not the greatest counter spell in the world. It's also only in blue. So having a counter spell in this deck will really throw people off. By turn 5 or 6, they're like, oh, they're playing mono black. They have 5 swamps out. And then, boom, Obnoxious Bastards. Cancel your big thing. Pretty cool. Townspeople hated the arrogant young captain who joined the uprising. When he stood up to tell them to go home, they responded by shaming him in front of the other townsfolk. That is pretty obnoxious, you bastards. Bring about 1 black 4 generic for an instant, exile target creature, planeswalker. Yeah, that's probably what we'd expect to pay for an exile, but it's cool to have that in here. Yeah, 4 or 5 mana. Flavors: the Baron gave him no name, but as the first target, he had the greatest chance of escape. Woodborne Berserker. 1 black 2 generic for a worm, 2/2 for 3 mana. Whenever Woodborne Berserker or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, if you control a worm, which you always will, because this is a worm, it gets +2/+2 and gains menace till end of turn. Okay. So it doesn't have haste, so when this comes in, technically it's a 4/4 menace that has summoning sickness. But then you always control a worm as long as it's on the battlefield, so whenever you play any other creature, this becomes a 4/4 menace. So that incentivizes you to play your creatures pre-combat. It's not always a bad thing, though. 4/4 menace on most turns for 3 mana, not too bad. The thrum of its venomous spine echoes in the murky corridors of its dark lair. Effectively not a 4/4 menace, though, all the time, because very bad blocker. So good offensively. Deceiver of Form. 1 black, 1 generic for a 2/2. Sacrifice a creature. Search your library for a card named Bogomir, Wojek the Bonder, or Pasha Ignorant All-Knowing. Reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. To look on a worm's mind is to fall prey to its greatest deception. If this was not a deck rating and it was a card rating, I would instantly type in Bogomir, Wojek the Bonder, or Pasha Ignorant All-Knowing and see what those do. But I want to get through the rest of the deck. Let me know if you're interested in seeing those in the comments, and maybe I'll post a link to them. Yeah, I mean, if those creatures are good, this is good. It can summon them right up. Sacrifice one of those 2/2 zombie tokens. Yep. This looks like an art of like a deer like murdered in the woods. 2 black and X, and it doesn't do anything. Alright, I guess you can write on it, whatever you want it to do. Persecute. 1 black instant. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 till end of turn. I'm wondering, like, why does the creature get stronger if you persecute it? You know what I mean? Maybe it makes it, like, enraged because of your persecution, and that buffs it up. It's like a football player that you're trying to get angry before they go onto the field. What's the flavor? I've seen worse, but I've never seen a worse. Gerard said that. All right. Keeper of Fates. 1 black sorcery. Search your library for a basic land card, put it on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Yeah, that's very good. Imagine playing this in a mono black deck. Turn 1, swamp, Keeper of Fates, go grab another swamp. You're ramping, right? That's a good card. Yeah, that's really good. There's no turning back, I suppose. Trust. Grizzled Boggle. 1 black, 2 generic for a 3/2 troll. Yeah, the art looks like a troll. That's pretty cool. At the beginning of your upkeep, if Grizzled Boggle is in your graveyard, create a 2/2 black and green troll creature token. This card is very good. It's not completely busted, but yeah, you pay this, especially because we do have ways to sacrifice creatures in this deck. Play this on turn 3. They can't attack you. I mean, they can, but you block one of their creatures, kill their creature. Grizzled Boggle just chills out in your graveyard, and every turn you create a 2/2 black and green troll creature token. Yes, sign me up for 4 Grizzled Boggles, please. It stands for loyalty and life, and at the gates of the netherworld. Oh, that's it. So, let me know what you think of this deck. I think this is very good. I did a mono red deck yesterday that had some really busted cards in it, and I don't think this deck has as many busted cards as that one, but it had more really good cards. The fact that the second card has a clause that if the enchanted creature deals damage, you just win the game. I think this deck is pretty strong. Thanks for commenting. I also want to say real quickly, if you like the channel, thank you for subscribing, and thanks for sharing this, even with friends or social media or whatever. It helps me a great deal to grow the channel and produce more content. So thanks very much. I'll see you next time.